All right, we have a new trailer for Christopher Nolan's Tenet. I'm going to put another N in there, an extra N. And I apologize if I call it Tenet. It's just how I naturally want to roll the word, but Tenet. If you put an extra N in there, then you can't spell it forward and backward and have it spell the same thing. Don't do that, Jeremy. You'll ruin it, idiot. But the new trailer for Tenet really shows us what the first trailer for Tenet shows us, is that we're dealing with the story in which time goes forward, but also backward. In some instances, for some people, Kenneth Branagh can apparently communicate with the future. Which is funny, because when I worked at the theater, I worked with this Russian dude who'd always pick apart Russian accents. He'd be like, that person sucks at it, that person sucks at it. But Kenneth Branagh in that Jack Ryan movie, he was actually good. That was a legit Russian accent. So he says. Not that I'm a master at Russian accents, it's just funny that he's playing a Russian again. I have to assume the consensus is he's pretty good at it. So they're trying to prevent World War III, which I do like that World War III is no longer seen as what will be this nuclear holocaust. That's so 80s, that's so Cold War, because now, I mean, as technology has grown, it would probably be something else. So in a world where it can be something else, why not have it be something like time going backwards? Because it also gets the curiosity flowing as to how is that execution going to happen in this Nolan world? This Nolan story, the story of this director who is known to be a craftsman of imagination. And this trailer shows a little more of what was shown in the last trailer and definitely mentioned in one scene. It was like, what happened in this room? It hasn't happened yet. Well, now we get to see some of what hadn't happened yet, which is bullets going backwards into guns rather than being shot from guns. Which means the only thing more fun than seeing the footage go backwards in the trailer as it's going forward is reversing the footage in a YouTube video, watching it go backward, which means it's going forward. I don't know, I just get a kick out of it. Should probably do the whole video like this. What I like about Nolan is he's always been good at taking these extraordinary scenarios, you know, these concepts, like we saw in Interstellar with relativity and how he illustrated that, like we saw in Inception. Nolan's always been pretty good at taking something complicated and making it accessible in his movie. Just accessible for the average moviegoer to be like, oh, I totally get it. But in wondering how he's going to execute time going backwards, like, is it going to be a can the future affect the past kind of scenario? There's this great episode of the show called Through the Wormhole, in which I think the title is Can Time Go Backward? Because we're three-dimensional beings going what we perceive as forward through what we perceive as time. So we see action, reaction, rinse and repeat as we go one direction. But what if the reactions are actually the actions and the actions are the reactions? What if time goes backwards? Simply put, if you drop a plate, it shatters on the ground. Now the plate shattered because you dropped it, or did you drop it because the plate was shattered in the future? Question for the philosophers. Or is it going to deal with something like that? It's fascinating, but I don't know. But this is what I like about Christopher Nolan trailers. There are a lot of trailers out there where you see the trailer and you're like, I know exactly what the movie's about. But Christopher Nolan trailers, you have the gist, but you don't usually know the meat and bones of the actual plot. Whereas some directors don't have creative control over their trailers, which is how you get dubstep in the Warcraft trailer. But you feel like Nolan has a lot of control over the trailer. If it was something that he wouldn't want, you have a feeling he'd be like, nope. And they'd be like, yes, sir, Mr. Nolan. All right, take a seat right here. We have a table right here waiting for you. Garçon, fix him up with anything he would like. We will get that fixed forthwith. Mr. Nolan. Everything that Nolan does, I just feel like that's definitely Nolan and how he wanted to do it. That, or he just gives whatever company cuts the trailers together enough. He's like, no, this is what you get to know. And I do wonder, in a world where, you know, we live in a world of causality, one thing leads to the next thing. Did Interstellar directly influence him to make Tenet? Interstellar dealt with space-time and relativity, but still going forward until the very end. But I wonder if that was a springboard of him going, all right, I want to look into more of that and we'll deal with something else that has to do with time, but time going backward now. I don't know, maybe I'm projecting because Interstellar was it was a thing for me. It really was. Here's a story. I'll try not to make it too long. I don't want to make this some big indulgent piece, but it's a story nonetheless. Interstellar was kind of a big deal for me because I watched Interstellar and then I liked it, but I had things to say about it, and people in the comment section had things to say about the things I had to say about it. And instead of doing due diligence and looking into it, you know, looking into the science, my spoiler talk video, I did what YouTubers should never do, which is double down in some act of hubris. The Dunning-Kruger effect, my friends. We're all susceptible. We're all capable of falling into it. So if you don't know that much about something, know enough to know that you don't know that much, you'll be safer than most. And someone in the comment section, bless them. The comment was something along the lines of, maybe you don't know as much about this as you think you do. And I remember seeing that being like, maybe I don't. Maybe I should look into it. And from there started me down what I would call a mental quest of growth. Cosmos, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Carl Sagan, Stephen Hawking have all been influential figures in my studies of space, time, reality, the universe itself, and my quest to understand it all. And now I know that much, but that's so much more than I knew. And you realize by the end of your life, you won't have even scratched the surface, but it's not about knowing everything. It's just in these studies, this is why I essentially tell the story. It gives you a perspective that I don't think is an exaggeration to say that it's life-changing. As I heard Carl Sagan say, it's a humbling and character-building experience, and totally true. So I encourage anyone out there, look into it, study, thirst to know how the universe works. And once you start down the path, forever will it dominate your destiny in the best way possible. It was a very big moment. So Interstellar was that thing for me, but also that comment, which does show the power of constructive criticism over shit talk. I thank that person for that comment. So maybe I'm just projecting because Interstellar was that thing for me. I'm like, well, maybe Interstellar springboards onto this. I don't know. Regardless, I'm interested to see what he does with Tenet and how he deals with time going backwards as well as forward. But have you seen the trailer? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And what's a movie that influenced you in your life and kind of inspired you to research and grow and, that movie? I'd love to hear what that movie is for you. So again, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.